What's going on, guys? Hope you all are enjoying your weekend. We are gonna get into it. It is a follow the flip update. Did some sourcing today. Spent a little bit of our budget. What up, Bogey Blasters? What up, One Love? Let me get it in here, get a title going. Bam. Send. Thank you guys for jumping in. I'm gonna go over a few things. The title of this update is Don't Get Fancy. There we go. Yo, what up, Kelly? It's been good talking with you, my friend, as you have been experiencing some wins. What up, Jim Witten? Was thinking about you today, Jim, when I was in Westbrook. What up, Julie Dub? Koozie, what up, guys? Abby, as you guys check in, let us know where you're checking in from. I'm gonna go over the find of the day. I wanna give you an update on where we are at with the cash. I wanna talk a little bit about some of the finds. We spent $115 of our budget. What up, T-Berry? What up, Moms? What's going on? Lindsay's not feeling that well right now, so she's watching a little football, taking a nap ski. That's why I'm doing it up in the sneaker loft, so I can try to be as quiet. I'm gonna be pretty loud, but I'm gonna try to be quiet as much as I can. The original Rush. Kelly checking in from Mish. Kelly, big Detroit overtime win the other night. My Flyers went into overtime, but couldn't do it. It was a crazy third period, and then they lost it in overtime. So we spent $115 of our budget today. Got a ton of pairs. I think we got 16 total pairs. So it comes out to about $7, just under $7.25. I think it's like $7.18 a piece on today's inventory. But here's the point, we still have $425. So with all this new inventory, we're gonna take that next big leap. We hit the halfway mark at around 500. I think we were a little over 500, obviously. And we spent some so that we could flip some more shoes. We still have some that haven't sold yet, but now as we're building the inventory, what up, One Love, checking in from Florida. Now we can start doing some cool things with giving people deals if they buy 3 or 4 pairs at a time. Kelly, you know what I'm talking about. Got that monster 6-pair Facebook Marketplace win the other day. I think for 600 plus. That is a phenomenal win. And you're yeah, I'm a Flyers fan, Bogey. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, appreciate it. If you're a Flyers fan too, you're in my book. So here's the good thing, guys. We're building. We're only 23 days in. Yeah, 23 because we started on October 26th. 23 days into this adventure. We've taken $25. We've turned it into over 500. Just spent 115. So we have $425 in our pocket. That is real deal money. That is no joke money. That pays big chunks of anyone's bills. But our goal is to go from 25 to 1,000 and show you how possible that is. That's how we built our buying budget. And although we did spend about $1,000, a little over $1,000 on, what was it, Friday? Yeah, on Friday for our brand new inventory, the point of Follow the Flip is to get back to our origins and not be fancy with what's going on. I'm not saying it's fancy getting new shoes, but you always got to go back to what got you to where you are. And the first 1,000 pairs that we sold and flipped, we pulled out of the bins, we pulled out of Goodwill, pulled out of Salvation Army, cleaned them up like we're gonna do with all these, sold them for 25 or 30 bucks and delivered them, and that's what we're doing here. So the current, if you guys have any questions about Follow the Flip, start putting them in the comments below. Everyone has to get on FB Marketplace. True story, Kelly. It's a different ball game, just like anything. It's a different marketplace. You got to respect and figure out certain things. There's different language. There's different cadences. There's low ballers, just like everything else. But there's a real opportunity to win, and there's no fees when it comes to Facebook Marketplace. So our little black box has $425 after today's sourcing trip. Got some really good stuff. Like I said, the average buy cost for everything was $7, a little over $7. We'll call it $7.18. What up, Retail Recon? Congrats on your Facebook Marketplace win. E-commerce Wolf, what up? Drew Bongi, what up? So let's see. We talked about seasonal sourcing, which is super important, especially when you just get started off. So we did get some boots. We got some smaller men's 7 boots. We've got some really nice LL Bean men's 9 boots. We brought in some women's super soft. I don't know if this is suede, but These are LL Bean women's. We also got some waterproof LL Bean lows. These Tech 2.5s we sell through whenever we get them. But as always with any brand, with any pair, you always want to make sure there's no rips or tears. You want to make sure the sole is in really good condition. Oh, you guys, I can't even tell you how many pairs that I wish did not have rips in them today. We would have literally gotten like 50 pairs. But the stricter you are when it comes to sourcing, the better everything else gets. People message us all the time. How come, what do I do when stuff's not selling? Well, you source better. What do I do if people want to return a shoe because it's ripped? Don't source shoes that are ripped. What do I do? These aren't selling, these aren't selling. And then we'll look through your photos and they'll be ripped in the heel, in the top. There'll be a big rip on the bottom. There'll be, you know, whatever it is. Just don't source it as much as you want to. Sometimes you come home with nothing, but don't source shoes that are ripped. Don't source shoes that have structural damage. Make sure there's enough sole left so that whoever buys them from you is going to be able to wear them for a couple months or even more. That means they're gonna keep coming back. All right, let's dive in. LL Bean Merrell waterproof boots. We found these really cool waterproof Merrell. Again, these aren't a crazy good colorway. They're definitely gonna take some cleaning, but if you look at the sole, you guys, it won't do it justice. I was trying to get some lights going. What do you mean by business deals, Mookshevnu? I don't know what you mean. What up, Seacoast? Good to have you on here, brother. Sparkle Sloth, what up? I've had mine over a year, still looking new. Yeah, Mama Bear in Vermont, what up? Yeah, true story. Merrell is a phenomenal brand. I'm so pumped about these. This is a little bit outside the norm. These are a men's 15, but they're an old school Shox. These are Nike Shox. I looked them up. They're crazy. I literally spent about 15 minutes looking these over because I would have thought they would have been ripped up. Usually men's shoes that are big, you know, 13, 14, 15 and above, are ripped because there's more stress being put on the shoe. It's a bigger individual putting stress on the shoe. What's your trick to cleaning the shoes? We're gonna talk a little bit about cleaning, but there's no trick. It's about repetition of, I guess you can call it strokes. It's not about grinding the dirt out. It's about making sure all the dirt is off so when you're adding liquid in a shoe cleaner, you're not creating mud. We'll talk about that shortly. But I'm really, really psyched about these Shox because they still have really, really good tread. I'll be cleaning all this up. And they just look cool. This is like an old school. Nike Shox always sell. Again, they gotta be in good condition. Here's what I'm talking about. When you find a shoe that you can still read the insole, that's a huge bonus. You always wanna check these areas to make sure there's no rips or tears. If they have rips or tears, I'm telling you, put them back. Even if they're $1, put them back. We've made that mistake, and we want you guys to leapfrog our mistakes. Danskos are also a huge bolo. Keep an eye out for Danskos. As always, you want to look at the inside heel to make sure that they haven't been torn up. And the big thing with Danskos, in our experience, obviously you got to make sure the tread is all good, but you want to be checking the front toes here for whatever reason. I mean, I don't wear Danskos, but they are a very durable shoe. This right here on the front of Danskos is what usually gets chewed up the most. So you want to make sure. Also, what we have found, when these start to go, you see the ridges right, well, you see, let me try to get the light. You see the ridges right here. The whole entire shoe will literally crack right here. Because it's such a durable shoe, when it's finally time for these to go, they'll have a crack. And so you got to give it the twist test. I mean, Danskos they're not supposed to maneuver. If you get a pair of Danskos, make sure you really torque on them so that there's no big hidden cracks in the tread. It may look like tread, but when you give it that torque test, if all of a sudden there's a big crack, you want to pass up on those. So for $7 a piece, we also picked up some really dope snowboard boots. These were actually only $1, but overall, the overall cost, 115 divided by, I think it was 16 pairs, comes out to about $7 a pair. You cannot go wrong with snowboard boots this time of year. The big thing with snowboard boots is you want to make sure that all these things that are used to tighten the boot when you're out in the cold are good to go. You want to make sure none of them are ripped. You want to make sure they're all their original clippings. As always, you guys want to make sure these clips are in good condition. boots and snowboard boots that are meant to be worn heavily in the winter are the ones that are going to get beat up the most. So you obviously want to make sure, again, when you're getting boots, that these little clips right here, if they gotta have life left in them so that when people buy them from you, you're still good to go. So bare minimum, we're gonna be asking, I'm about to show you the find of the day. Bare minimum, we're gonna be asking $25 a piece. I didn't bring my phone up. Someone in the comments below, what is 16 times 25? I have no idea. I'm not good at math. Lindsay's usually the one that does the math for us. But what, in the comments below, let me know, what is 16 times 25? That is the bare minimum that we're going to try to get out of this. There are some pairs that we could ask for some more, but we're trying to build those relationships because we're pretending like it's early on how we built our business. So we may just do $25, maybe $30 at most just to get these turned over. 400 bucks. So we just spent, thank you guys for doing that, appreciate it. We just spent $115, and at bare minimum, we're gonna look to put another $400 on. Now, there may be some scenarios where, because there's similar sizing, we may say, hey, if you buy more than one pair, we can give you a deal. If you buy 3 pairs, you know, for $75, we'll give you a free pair. It can be any sizing. This is what we did in the beginning. Once you start to build your inventory, you can really move and shake. It's not gonna take us very long, if not by tomorrow, for us to set up at least 4 deliveries. I mean, it may take a little bit longer because it's Sunday and people are watching football and doing their thing, but by middle of the week, we should have at least 4 deliveries, maybe 5 set up, so all of these will be paid for. You know, you bring in 5 pairs at 25 bucks a piece, that's $125. That means all of these are paid for. That means you're into your profit. That means you can start maneuvering around. You know, if mom or dad is like, hey, I only got 20 bucks, you can say, hey, you know, no worries, we're asking 25, but we can do 20. You start to have that maneuverability, and again, you want to be building those relationships. Harris Co-op, what up, my man? Thanks for the shout out on your Insta story the other day, and good work on copping those Jordan Rookie of the Years. Those are dope. So this is the find of the day. These are an Adidas Pure Boost X, or Pure Boost 10, whatever you want to call it. They're super interesting. They've got like the narrow. Love this colorway, and again, there's no rips or tears. You can still see the Boost logo in there. The bottom tread is in phenomenal condition. We'll give this a nice scrub. The red will pop. They're authentic. It's just, we got these, again, overall was about $7, but these were actually only $4.50 in store. This is one of those things that makes your entire day when you can find that one pair. Again, we could probably sell these for a lot more than we are going to ask. But in the beginning, it's about building those relationships. It's about turning the inventory over rather than having a bunch of inventory that you're sitting on and you're trying to milk the profit out of each and every single pair. The original Rush, these all came from Goodwills. On Sundays and Mondays, we source Goodwill. Northern New England has Dollar Day, and so there's one color, which is $1. Today it was red, and then I think it was either pink or yellow. Now I can't even remember. It was half off. That's just in our area. You got to check your local thrift stores. It's been, every thrift store has some kind of deal that they do. Whether it's literally, hey, if I'm gonna buy, you know, 50 pairs of shoes, can we work something out? They'll be like, oh my gosh, if you're gonna buy 50 pairs of shoes, or they'll do like a $2 day, or they'll do a $1 day, or they'll do half off, or you just have to check in your area. Give them a call and say, hey, when do you guys run deals throughout the week? Always be nice about it. What else can I share with you guys? If you have any questions in the comments. Oh, so here, it's titled, Don't Get Fancy Today. Because we see this so many times. People build momentum because they see exactly what we're doing, and then they start to do it, and holy smokes, in a week they get a couple $100. In a month they make $1,000, and then they get a little too fancy. And what I mean by this is they try to spend $50 on one pair of shoes rather than take that $50 and get 10 $5 pairs. And then what happens is if you make them a $50 mistake, it's way worse than if you make a $5 mistake. Like, for whatever reason, these were $5. If I had got home and I had overlooked that there was a giant rip or whatever it is, that's a $5 mistake. Now, you start getting into buying shoes for more than 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks. If it doesn't sell, if the market drops on them for whatever reason, that's a bigger, harder mistake to come back from. Best case scenario, you're trying to sell it for what you got it for so you can take that money and reinvest it. You know, just above that, you're sitting on the shoe for months and months and months, maybe even a year, and then eventually you make, you know, 20 bucks on it. And here's even worse. This is gonna blow your mind. Even worse, someone buys the shoe for $100, but then realizes that they could have got it somewhere else for 50 because the market dropped on them for whatever. Now they look at you as someone who kind of screwed them over. Even if you didn't mean to, even if the market dropped, they say, oh my gosh, I'm never going back to that buyer or that seller because I can get shoes for less expensive elsewhere. You want to build relationships with people, giving them a good deal. $25 is a good deal for a pair of shoes that you've cleaned up, that is in good condition, that still has plenty of life left in it, that you meet them in their convenience. They're gonna say, you know what, this is a good person, I'm gonna keep looking to them for more shoes. Then you build hundreds and even thousands like we did of those relationships. Then when you transition into brand new inventory, you already have built that trusted relationship. You're gonna continue to treat them with respect. You're gonna give them a good deal. You may be sourcing from the outlets at 20, 25, 30 bucks a pair and selling to them for 60, 70, $80 a pair, but they're still getting pairs way under retail. I hope you guys can see how we really grew our business from zero to over $100,000 in sales in our first year. Our first year. We were full-time from day one, and we had to make it work, and we went $0 to $100,000 in sales. We've been improving our profit margins. It pays all of our bills. This is how we did it. We're not making stuff up. We're not saying, hey, we read this online. We're showing you, and we're using Follow the Flip to get back to ground zero, to show you. And then when we hit that 1,000, we've got a surprise for you. We're gonna do something even crazier than turning $25 to $1,000. But we're on day 23. We want to show you how possible it is. We've hit the halfway mark. $500 is no joke, but we want to show you 25 to 1,000, and then you have some room to maneuver. Everything we've done so far has been minuscule compared to what you can do. What size are those Adidas? Where? These Adidas right here? These Pure Boost X are a women's size 9. So dope. I'm not sure we're going to price them at, but it's going to be way under what we should price them at. Yeah, these are in such good condition. I texted Lindsay a picture of these with just the fire emoji saying find of the day, and we still had a couple more stops. And she was like, no way did you just find Pure Boost X. Now, you don't find this stuff all the time, but if you're not out there doing your thing, we put up a post about this, if you're not out there doing your thing, ooh, DG deals, maybe we can work something out. If you're not out there looking, there's been days where we've gone through 10 locations and found nothing, and then there's been days where we go out to 10 locations and bring home 100 pairs of shoes. If you're not out there doing and learning and strictly sourcing, you're definitely not going to run into these. You're going to run into situations like this. These were $1. They're not the greatest colorway, but they got amazing insole. Again, the insole, you can still see, it looks like they haven't even been worn, even though from afar they kind of look like not the best colorway. Brooks is a phenomenal brand. We are definitely going to be selling these for $25. Again, Asics, I love the bright colorway. I've never heard of these before, but the Adidas SL Loop, again for $7, turning this into 25, a men's 10. Just don't get fancy. The theme today is don't get fancy. All right, so there's a couple things I want to show you guys before we end this live feed. There is this little, it's Turtle Wax is the brand. It's the travel size. It's called Odor X, and we do our very best to not source shoes that smell. I mean, if they smell bad, we're in where we live. We don't bring home shoes that smell. However, everyone knows that Goodwill smell. If they're in the bins, if they're in the store, it just has that Goodwill smell. Not a foot fungus smell, but a in the store Goodwill smell. So what we'll do is we'll occasionally spray the ones with this. It just eliminates, it's basically kind of like a fresh car scent, but it also eliminates some odor. And it's Turtle Wax is the brand, and it's called Odor X. I'll put that up there. Turtle Wax Odor X. It's worked well for us. You just do, like, literally, we'll do like a little spray over the whole lot and be good to go. When we're cleaning shoes, Let me see, just curious, did you guys set up an LLC to do this? I'm worried I'm gonna make too much with some flips. That's a really, really good question, DG Deals. And when it comes to like LLC and taxes and all that stuff, we've got ourselves covered, but it's super, super important that you reach out based on your state, based on your situation. The person that we always direct resellers to, his name is Not Your Dad's CPA. Look him up. He's a phenomenal dude. He's a nice guy. He works he's a tax professional that works specifically with resellers. Send us a DM and I'll make sure you get that name. You can ask him all the questions in the world. Great guy, and like I said, he works specifically with resellers. So you're reselling questions, tax questions, he's gonna know better, and we don't want to give you false information based on Maine state stuff versus your state. But you obviously want to make sure your taxes are covered. We do ours quarterly and we're set. Yeah, so when it comes to cleaner, we don't complicate things. There's a million of them out there. We got these at, this is called Soft Sole, S-O-F-S-O-L-E, Soft Sole. We just got this at Walmart. It's shoe cleaner. You know, it's the foam stuff, making it rain, the foam stuff. There's an important note that I want you guys to remember. We use a soft bristle brush. Before we even bust this stuff out, I give this thing a thorough brush on. I try to get as much dirt off as I possibly can. Obviously, when you add liquid to dirt, it creates mud. So you want to make sure that you have all the dirt off that you possibly can. These I'm going to have to give a little scrub. And then what I do is I take a pick and I pick out every single rock. Every single rock. Every single tiny little pebble. The people buying from us deserve to get the best possible shoe for a price that makes sense. Some people don't do that. Some people won't clean the bottom, and they say like they're gonna walk on them anyway. Well, here's what I want to say to that. You have people in the shoe game that will clean the bottom, that will clean the entire shoe. There's people on this feed like Mr. Woolsey that give the buyer the best possible shoe they can. Now, if that is happening out there, anything below that is subpar. If your sales are down, it's because people are doing more than you. So that needs to be absolute base level. Hey Renzi, where would you like for info? Where would you look for info on vintage athletic shoes that aren't easily Googled? I'm not really sure, Asheville Thrifter. It is important to find out information about it. What I would do is look up vintage Instagram accounts that are promoting themselves as vintage wear and send a DM. Look up 100 vintage, look up literally hashtag vintage shoes, vintage streetwear, vintage apparel, and DM 100 accounts and say, hey, what is this shoe? Can you give me any information about it? You know, just find answers. I'm not super sure. Googling it, obviously, like you said, if you Googled it and you can't find a lot of stuff about it, we have a few pairs of old lugs and some old Tommy Hilfiger and some Champion embroidered ones that we've showed you guys before. Haven't been able to find a lot of info. That either means they're bootleg or they're just crazy vintage, and we just keep them in our collection as kind of like a little fun thing. Plus, they're a little bit smaller than my size, so maybe when summer hits, I'm gonna get out and wear them a bunch so I can wear them down. I am the same and get great feedback because of all. See, that's my web promos. That's the game. Shoes is the currency to build the relationships with individuals, because then what happens is, let's say you do this for a year and then you're like, I'm not into shoes anymore, I want to start doing clothes. You've built a solid relationship with people. Those resellers that are out there that are like hiding that there's rips or tears or hiding whatever, and then haha, I got you, you can't return them. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose in the long run, because people are, one, they're not gonna come back. Two, they're gonna tell everyone that they got a bunk pair of shoes from you. And three, when you do switch to whatever it is else you want to do, maybe you want to do PlayStation games, they're gonna be like, I don't trust that those PlayStation games are in good condition, or I don't trust that that clothing is in good condition. It doesn't matter what you do. When you treat people right, good things happen. And it's always good to treat people right, period. Take all the money, take everything out of it. Just made 2 shoe connections today by hanging out and networking. Also have my first Epi Marketplace meetup tomorrow. Woolsey, could not be more pumped for you, my friend. You are one of those individuals who deserves all the floodgates to open on every single marketplace. You do things for the right reason, and because of that, the Delivery's gonna go well tomorrow. I'm happy that you made connections. We were talking to our boy Lift and Thrift, who has made some phenomenal connections himself. He's part of the menu. He's doing some monster things. What up, Reselling? Good to have you on, brother. There is so many people. Here's the thing. I'm gonna end with this. There's so many people doing the right thing for the right reasons that if you're not, you're gonna be left behind. Period. If you don't thoroughly clean the shoes, if you don't source shoes that have no rips or tears, if you don't price them respectfully, you're going to be left behind. You're gonna be asking, why am I not winning? I see other people winning, how come I'm not winning? Do what those people are doing and you will win. There's enough shoes for all of us to win. I was having a conversation where if you have this scarcity mindset, if you have this mindset that, oh, it's a little bit hard work to buy a $5 pair of shoes, clean them up a little, and sell them for 25 or 30. Yes, it is. But you get the fruits from doing that. There's a million ways to win in the reselling game. Just don't get fancy. Stop being fancy. I'm gonna put on the rubber gloves shortly. I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm gonna put on the rubber gloves. I'm gonna put on some music, and I'm gonna clean all 16 pairs of these. I'm gonna get into each and every single nook and cranny, and I'm thinking, as I'm doing that, about the buyers receiving these shoes when they buy them, because they will, saying, no way did I get these for 25 bucks. No way did I get these for 30 bucks. These are in better condition than I could have imagined. I'm gonna follow this buyer. I'm gonna bookmark this seller. I'm gonna follow this seller, because every time they drop shoes, I can't wait till they have what's in my size. And that's how we built our entire business, from what's in our closet to selling over 1,000 shoes on Facebook Marketplace, bringing in over $25,000 only using Facebook Marketplace, and then slowly but surely figuring out these other marketplaces that we use now. Here's the bottom line. You can win on every single marketplace. Some of us are using multiple. Some of us are only using one. No excuses. You can win on all of them, because people are. And if you aren't, talk to the people that are and figure out why, and replicate and try to improve on what they're doing. Or if you don't like that marketplace, find another marketplace. You can win on all of them. What up, Lift and Thrift? Thanks for sending me the video today, my man. That's what I got for you guys today. The bottom line is, don't get fancy. I'm about to jump in. Should have all of these done in less than an hour, because I sourced knowing that I'm gonna clean them. So most of them are in really good condition. Won't have to do too much. Cannot stress enough, the more you put into your sourcing, the easier everything else gets. As always, if you guys have any questions at all, send us a DM. If we have the answer, you get it for free. If we don't have the answer, we're gonna try to send you in the direction with the person that does. Hope your football team wins today, because the Patriots aren't playing today. Hope you enjoy your weekend, and above all, guys, enjoy each and every single step of this adventure. We'll talk to you guys all real soon.